Happy Friday, everyone. Hoping all my Teamster family, my union family out there is having a wonderful Friday, getting ready for the weekend. So, I've been fielding a lot of questions from different folks, knowing that I have experience with the Teamsters and knowing that I work as a part-time UPSer. They wanted to ask me what my thoughts on exactly what's going on. I get questions about the Teamsters. I get questions of organizing and of different unions as well. So I kind of wanted to make a quick video, no editing, straight to the point, letting everybody know exactly, how I feel. First off, I'm super excited with this new leadership that we have at the Teamsters. Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman seem to bring new, renewed energy to the Teamsters. There's different appointments that happen with the Teamsters, so I'm excited. I love the direction that the Teamsters seem to be going. I loved what Sean O'Brien has said. When I was an agent, Sean O'Brien was always deemed to be the pick, the person that was going to take over for Hoffa, and that things fell apart. It's kind of sad that the way that things played out. But with my experience, seeing what has happened is not unique to the Teamsters. This is what we tend to see in all the different locals during election times, that there are parties that separate, that there are folks that become different slates. So it's nothing unique. But the good thing is that it brings a lot of new energy. I wasn't really a big fan of Hoffa. In the beginning, when I started with the Teamsters, maybe he had young energy, but what I saw usually in the middle and toward the end, I didn't really see him doing anything for me as a member. I used to work for Coca-Cola, and every time we wanted to strike, it always came down to the international is not sanctioning your strike, so you can't strike, which was, to me, bullshit. We had the company by the throat, we had them on their knees, and we wanted to deliver the final knockout punch, and it never happened because of the international. So even though he had the Hoffa name, it seemed that he didn't have that Hoffa fire. So he might have done some good things, but at the end of the day, it was time for him to go. So I'm actually glad to see new leadership and new blood. A little bit about me: I started with the Teamsters in '97. Started in different warehouses. Then I went to soft drink brewing. Became a business agent, organizer. I ended up leaving the Teamsters. I ended up going somewhere else to other unions, working with school employees. I went to work with nonprofits as an organizer. So I've had the opportunity to learn different styles of organizing, different styles of unions, and it all comes back to what I want to talk about: the Teamsters. For what I've seen is the Teamsters lack a lot of leadership development, a lot of training and development. As a business agent, one of the reasons I feel that I failed as a business agent was because I come from my shop, and basically I'm just given the keys and said, look, you were a successful steward, now handle the job as a business agent. It's a totally different ballgame. It's a totally different ballgame being a steward to being a business agent. Being a business agent is a 24/7 job. Being a business agent takes a toll on you, leads to a lot of divorces, leads to a lot of alcoholism. It's not an easy job. Members are demanding. Members want to see their business agents. Sometimes they just want to see their business agents just to see them, not because they have a problem, just they see them walk through. As a member, I was exactly the same way. If I didn't see my business agent in a while, I'm like, look, he could at least stroll by and just show his presence. That's one of the main reasons why the principal officer that was at my local lost his job, because during an election, he decided that he had the votes and he didn't visit shops. And the member said, look, if he doesn't even come around when it's time for a campaign, maybe it's time for him to go. So we brought in new leadership that was able to make changes and fire up members, and things have been, as far as I know from being on the outside, things have been going pretty good at that local. I won't tell you what local, but I'm sure if you do some research, you could find it. So that's the thing with business agents. One of the hardest things is a business agent. Business agent job, they love you one day, they hate you the next, kind of like a steward. I've been a steward for a lot of years, same thing. I am currently a labor rep at another organization, so I took all that experience that I've had of dealing with members and different people to make me a more successful labor rep or agent. But one of the things that agents need definitely is training. They need mentorship. Business agents these days can't just come from a shop and be placed in a facility. They're going to fail. So what they need is mentorship. They need a way of maybe having some kind of internship where they could kind of go through a probationary period and learn the job and see if they really like it, or they can go back. One of the big things that happens is that a business agent will accept a position with the local, and he or she, even if the job is the job is too much, they won't tell the secretary treasurer that the job is too much for fear of having to go back to their shop and being looked at as a failure. So I think it would be best to, instead of just plugging in a business agent from a shop, but having some kind of internship and saying, look, it's a 3-month internship. Like that, the members at the shop know, if the person does come back, they know, look, it was just an internship, instead of, oh, this business agent came back because he failed, because he either quit or he got fired. So that would be a thing. When I was a business agent, there was training available in Washington that I never got to go, and I kind of learned everything on the job. And that's the reason why I befriended labor reps and organizers from different unions, plus the LA Fed and the Cal Fed, because there was a lot of resources out there that I needed to come across, and I wasn't getting that leadership and development in the Teamsters. So that's one of the things that's most important, is training for our business agents. And our business agents should be developing members, should be developing a strong steward network. We are not a service organization. Our job is not to go out there and solve problems for our members or help them out. We're there to support. We want them to learn how to fight. But unfortunately, the model that we have is that if we develop a strong leader, that leader might run against us. So I've seen this with the Teamsters, that sometimes they're afraid to develop new leaders because they're like, yeah, that leader might run, that steward might run against me in the next election. So what's going on is that we're not developing young new leaders, and that's not how a union grows. So it's important for us to develop young leaders. Business agents also can be babysat. If you are gonna appoint a business agent and you want to babysit him because you want to see what he's doing, that means you have no trust in him. It's a hard job, and having somebody babysit you and watching you and over you, if it's a principal officer, somebody else on the executive board overseeing them, it gets old really quick. And like a member at any shop, you don't like to be micromanaged. The business agent is going to lead to burnout. They're going to quit. So what you're supposed to do is give that business agent the tools that they need, give them the training that they need to be successful, and let them sink or swim on their own. no holding hands, no doing, hey, let's walk the shops with you to see what's going on. That's not it. But also too, there needs to be a change in the way the agents operate in the Teamsters. I've been in a lot of different other unions and organizations, and there's strategic planning involved. There's goals. There's your day is goal oriented. There's matrices. There's none of that in the Teamsters. The Teamsters is just basically, as long as the members don't come to the union meeting and complain, or I don't get any phone calls, you're doing a great job. Well, that's not part of being a good labor rep. You're supposed to be developing new leaders. You're supposed to get leaders on your shops involved in political movements and stuff to keep advancing the union way. And I don't see that happening. With this new regime that's coming in, Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman, I hope that's something that gets put on the forefront. But it's unfortunate when, sometimes you have a rally and the only people that are at a rally are paid staff because members are not coming out to volunteer because they don't own it. They don't own the process. They don't believe in the process. That's the reason why a lot of our members do not donate to drive, because they don't know what the process is. Some people will do it, but not the way it should be. Corporations have their lobbyists and they spend a lot of money, and we need to be able to match those funds at times to play in Sacramento and play in Washington. So that's one of the things I see. So we need more training and development for business agents. I would love, and here's another thing, I would love to see business agents not be at will. Business agents should be represented by a union. They shouldn't be at will employees. This shouldn't be nepotism. Every other union hires the best reps available, looking at your resume and all that. I understand if you want to give the opportunity to somebody from a shop, but they shouldn't be at will, where if for some reason or another they get on your bad side, you fire them, or they're going to run against you, you fire them. Business agents shouldn't be part of the local political process. Business agents should be neutral. They should be there to serve the members. So they should also be allowed to unionize. And labor reps are unionized everywhere else, at every other union. Why can't the Teamsters do that? So that's another issue. Coming back to business agents, coming back to union elections. Union elections divide so many people. You hear a lot of mudslinging, you hear a lot of lies, untruths, etc. Here's the thing that I want to put out to you. If at every union meeting that there is, they usually read the financials. Depending on your bylaws, you can have access. If you feel something's not right, you can have access to any of that information. So you could question any kind of decisions. If you go online and you look at the LM2s and you see the expenditures of your union and you see something's not right, call upon it. Bring it to your executive board. If your executive board is no help, bring it to the joint council. If the joint council is no help and you have to go to an outside NLRB or IRB process, do it. There has to be checks and balances there, but there is. So when people say there's misappropriation of funds and nothing's being done, if there's misappropriation of funds, I guarantee you there was an investigation, or there's going to be an investigation that goes on, because the government doesn't just let unions do whatever they want to do. They investigate pretty much everything. So if you see misappropriation of funds, or you hear of misappropriation of funds, it is your duty as a Teamster, as a union member, to do something about it. So you shouldn't just, if your boss is doing something wrong, if you're a business agent and your boss is doing something wrong, it is your duty to call upon that person to fix a problem. And if they don't fix a problem, for you to go to any agency that you need to go to for the problem to be fixed. It's not a thing to just stay quiet, because at the end of the day, you have to answer to the members. So there's a lot of political stuff going on. Look, I'm going to tell you like this. I work at UPS. I've worked there for 2 years. For the 2 years there, I seen my business agent maybe once or twice. Our union board wasn't updated with membership meeting information. I was upset about that. I brought that up to the stewards there, like, what the hell's going on? How come we don't know when the next union meeting is going to be? That pissed me off. So when they took the MRA away, I felt that there was no answers to the part-timers. There's a lot of division at UPS. For the most part, people like UPS, which are the full-timers that are making top pay. They love UPS. It affords everything for them. But for the folks that are not at top pay, the people that are combos that it's taking like 100 years to get to top pay, they're pissed. There's no reason why progression should take more than a year and a half. I've talked to combos that said, you know what, I've been here 10 years and I might get to top pay in 2 or 3 years. How's that even right? If I've worked everywhere I've worked, progression is usually a year and a half, 2 years tops. And then the part-timers put in a lot of work and they're paid, though it's horrible. And then the argument that I hear is, well, you get good medical benefits. Look, if I want good medical benefits with part-time wages, I can get Medi-Cal for free. So that's not an argument. Plus, there's a lot of other private employers that are offering benefits in order to get you in the door. So when this MRA thing went down, I was pissed and I made a lot of phone calls. I was like, look, why are the locals in the East Coast 623 having rallies? How come we're not doing shit in our local? I was pretty pissed. And then we had a rally at 63 at Ontario, but the majority of the people that I seen were paid staff. Nobody's mobilizing the part-timers. And there's a big division between the full-timers and the part-timers that needs to be fixed before the contract comes up. So that's a big issue. I don't know what the contracts look like in other places, at the other local 63 shops. I don't know. I've been to union meetings and I see a packed house. Randy has done a lot of great things for the local. I have nothing bad to say about Randy. The only issue I have was at UPS. UPS has a culture, and this culture even has gotten to a point where when package drivers started complaining, saying they wanted AC, there's other package drivers that are shooting them down and saying, hey, you're spoiled, you're a baby, you shouldn't need AC. Because they indoctrinate you to think that you should do the best job with the least amount possible. So every time a part-timer or somebody complains in the workplace, like, hey, we need fans, a full-timer will say, oh, you're being a crybaby. I did this for 10 years and I didn't need a fan. So there's a lot of division going on that I haven't seen anything get fixed. Yeah, we're having rallies and contract stuff going on, but there's a big division between part-time and full-time at UPS. Again, I don't know what the other contracts look like at the other facilities. I just know what's happening at UPS Ontario. I've talked to other UPS members that throughout the country, not only at Ontario, that say that the same issues that we deal with in Ontario are the same issues that they deal throughout the country. So I'm sure it's not a local 63 issue. It's an issue throughout the country with UPS. So UPS needs to be brought to their knees, and we need to get the best contract possible or go on strike if we don't get a good contract at the table. Again, look, if you love the direction of this local, then vote Randy. Randy Kamak, the Kamak Steward Slate. If you like the direction of the local. If you don't like the direction of the local and you think the direction, the local has went a different direction that you don't like, then vote, the Alonzo Villegas slate. I don't know Ramiro Alonzo or Tony Villegas. I don't know who they are. I've never met them. I've met Randy. Randy's a stand-up guy. He's always done me good. I don't know what other stories other people have. That's for something else. I'm giving you my opinion. I believe Ramiro Alonzo might have been an organizer with JC42. I've volunteered a couple of times with JC42 with Randy Corrigan on some stuff. JC42 has done amazing work organizing. Ramiro Alonso, I think Pete Sierra was there at the time. There was quite a few folks that were there. They would do great work. I've been disconnected from that part, so I don't know what's happened lately. I don't know why the division, but I know that there has been problems. Another issue because I've been rambling all over the place. Another issue I want to bring up, or another concern that I have, is I've been hearing a lot of talk about a merger. I've been hearing a lot of talk about a 1932 63 merger. None of the leadership of either side has done anything to dispel that rumor. I know that in my local, the previous secretary treasurer wanted to merge our local with another secretary treasurer, and we almost beat the shit out of the secretary treasurers for even bringing that shit up. Nobody fucking wants to merge. 63 doesn't want to merge with 1932. So if that's even in talks, that shit needs to end now. Nobody wants to have a merger where somebody is just going to be placed into leadership. This is a democracy. We want to see elected officials. We want to see people elected. Now, there might be an opportunity where somebody could be groomed to be the next leader, but let the membership make that decision. I've actually talked to Randy, and I said, hey, Randy, who's going to take over? Randy's not getting any younger. Like, what happens if you get sick? What happens if, we were talking about an election, but let's say there was no election. What happens if you get sick? What happens if, God forbid, something else? Who takes over? It's important for these local leaders to start thinking about a successor. And maybe maybe just not putting them and just saying, here's the position, but saying, look, I'm thinking about stepping down at the end of my term. This is who I feel should be leading the local for the new generation. And you're going to have an opportunity to vote on that, but not just put them in place. But yeah, that's one of the things that's concerning. And I told Randy, look, hey, Randy, I don't know if Randy has family, if he has grandchildren or what, but I know that if once I get to that age, I'm thinking about the next part of my life. So I've asked Randy, like, hey, what's the deal? What's next? So I don't think there is a plan in place for what's next. So is Ramiro and Tony, should they be the successors for the local? That's for the membership to decide. Should it be somebody else? That's for the membership to decide. I'm just saying that every local leadership that has leaders that have been there for a long time should think about who's going to take over, because it's unfair to the membership to get to an election and have all this division. It's unfair. That's why I loved what Local 399 did. Steve Dyan stepped down. He passed the reins over to Lindsay Doherty, who's a badass Teamster. That's the way it should be. So again, I don't know what the answer is going to be for 63. You like the direction that it's going, then vote Randy. If you don't like it, vote Ramiro and Tony. If you don't like the way the direction of the local is going, get fucking involved. If you're the person that's on the sideline and all you're doing is complaining, you're not doing shit about it, then that's on you. This union is you. The union's not there to service you. I'm talking to the members, and this is one member to another member. The union's not there to service you. The union's not there where it's a AAA. The union is you. So you need to start getting yourself involved, getting involved, putting the fight to your supervisors. You need to make sure that if a supervisor gives you something to sign, you don't sign shit unless you run it by the local. You need to stand strong at your shop. It's your responsibility to talk to all your other co-workers and fellow brothers and sisters and get them involved and get them mobilized. That's not the BA's job. The BA's job is to, if the steward is unsuccessful with resolving a grievance, then the BA takes it to the next step. But it's not the BA's job to be doing stuff that the member should be doing. Member to member, members should be handling business too. So yeah, that's my little rant about that. I hate all this fucking division that's going on. I hate all this bullshit. I hate having two camps dividing each other. We're all stronger together. And even though we're going to say, oh, once the election over, everything's kumbaya, that's bullshit. Because I've seen it at other locals. Once the election is over, everybody still stays divided. Hey, you voted for him, fuck you. You voted for him, fuck you. Another thing that, and I heard on the Ramiro say it, that business agents are saying, oh, you're voting for this person, so I'm not going to represent you. If a business agent tells you that, that is a labor charge. That's called DFR, duty of fair representation. If somebody fucking tells you, hey, I'm not going to represent you because you're voting a different way, you pick up the phone, call the NLRB. Like, because that's bullshit. So, I got so much information to give. I'm just tired of seeing all this fucking bullshit infighting. Again, vote, do your fucking homework. Don't let nobody brainwash you. Do your homework, do your research, get all your information from everywhere else, from every source. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm going to drop my email. You could drop a question. You could email me. I'm at UPS Ontario at 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday. During the day, I'm a union rep. I'm on Twitter at LA Living 213. You could hit me up there. You could hit me up on Facebook. You could hit me up everywhere. I'll never say I don't have time to sit down with anybody over coffee or shit, even over a beer, to talk unions, to talk how do we move to that next step. So hopefully everybody stuck in. They say that usually you lose your audience within 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm at 27 minutes. So have a great time, everybody. Be safe out there. And remember, we're all Teamsters.